Hello everyone and happy Friday. Before we share my analysis from these last few days, please remember that neither I nor the SIMETRI team from Crypto Briefing are licensed financial advisors. What we provide is not a personalized investment advice. It is merely our opinions based on our various research and diligence. As always, do your own research before making any decisions about buying or selling crypto.
Let's get to the key technicals for Bitcoin before we get to the educational segment. So at the moment, 45,000, very much the key downside level to watch. If we start to hold underneath there convincingly, I would suspect we're going to see that 7,000 point drop coming. And in terms of the monthly pivot, we're pretty much testing around there constantly. And interestingly, the weekly and the monthly pivot point, they're pretty much in the same area. Hence why we're seeing a lot of tests and retests in that kind of direction at the start of the week. In terms of key downside levels, if we were to break under 45,000, I'd definitely be looking towards 42 as some form of support. If we lost that, that would be very, very bearish. We could even sink as low as 37.6 initially, although I would expect a strong rebound from there. Again, daily price closes below 45,000. That would be, for me, a bearish signal in the market. So let's get to the charts now, and we'll start with the short term. So we've got this type of wedge type pattern, and as I've said earlier, we did have a test in the final days of 2021 towards this wedge, and then we've obviously sunk, and we've been in this period of consolidation. So the market has very easily definable areas to head towards. So if we were to turn bullish and we were to move above, say, somewhere like 48,400, I would expect a test of this wedge again, the area that the market couldn't get past. So this key trend line around 50,000. If we were to sink from current levels, and judging by the overall size of the wedge, again, I'd expect to move towards 42,000 and probably lower. So that's where we are in the short term for Bitcoin. It's very undecided, and I think being on the sidelines is probably the correct move at the moment. In terms of a slightly longer term picture, this big trend line from the summer, once we broke above there, obviously we've had a bit of a retest there and we moved higher. So the market's briefly moved down there. It makes a lot of sense that the market would move down there and test if we did get a bit of a bearish breakdown. So for me, that comes in around about 42,000, which is obviously the low point from December. So that will be an interesting area for the market to test towards, and it would obviously be either a strong rebound spot or a kind of capitulation spot and a move into a definite downtrend for Bitcoin. So for me, I think it's important to know why 42,000 is so important, apart from it being that key trend line. So let's have a look at the X's here, and we can see after we've moved above that kind of 40,000 range, the 42,000 area is featured quite heavily a lot in the market during pullback. So we can see there, after we collapsed in the summer, we've moved up to test that area. We've failed. We've moved up there again. We've moved past it. Again, we've got that move up in September. We come down and dropped into that area. And lo and behold, that was the area that we tested after we got the big drop off from 57,000 in December. So for me, it makes a lot of sense if the market isn't finding a definite direction. 42,000 is an area to watch in the market, and that kind of begs the question, what happens if we lose 42,000 and how bad can it get for Bitcoin? And I think for me, one of the easy things to do is to find a region where the market could gravitate towards, and I would say follow the X's again. So if we have a look, 30,000 is obviously a big level for the market, as we can see here. The number of retests towards 40,000 has been significant. So for me, a scenario that I'm watching out for, and again, we probably need to see stock weakness, and we probably need to see some US dollar strength or something bearish happening in the crypto market in order for this to happen. But we probably need to see some definite selling below 42,000, a loss above there where we can't get above there. And again, we follow down towards that kind of path of testing that 30,000 area, because if we turn ourselves into basically a market psychology, and we think, okay, if you're a professional trader, do you really want to be going long? If you are looking to buy, you want to be buying at the low risk areas where the market has rebounded before. So 42,000 is a potential spot where the market's rebounded before, and again, 30,000 is an area where if you did want to put on a medium-term trade with a reasonable stop loss, say underneath 27,000 or something like that, this would be the area to look for if you were looking for a rebound towards 42,000 or probably a lot higher in 222, depending on your overall view of the market. And I think it's a very, very plausible scenario that we're looking at here for Bitcoin. Again, if we have a look at what Bitcoin has to do to move to the upside, I think we always have to look at the short-term bull and the short-term bear case. Just for short-term traders, we're moving towards this Ichimoku cloud here. If we start to move above the cloud, the top of the cloud, like I say, it comes in at around 48 to I think about 48.4, but we'll say 49,000. If we were to get above there, then we can probably have a retest towards the area where the market got rejected just before Christmas. And again, that key trend line. So for me, unless we make any traction above there, we're probably going down towards 42,000 for a big test. If not, we're either going to head up to 49,000, get a big rejection, or traders are going to probably look for some type of low risk sell towards the top trend line again. So that would be my overall leaning in terms of the short-term bullish case. So let's have a brief recap. So the rejection or wedge retest around 52,000 is still valid, and it's still pretty much on for gaining momentum. It can still move much lower. The Ichimoku indicator on the H4 timeframe, it really shows that the 49,000 is probably going to be the key upside level for the next bullish test if we do start to see some strength over the coming days. So for me, a move towards technically important 42,000 level is highly probable. If we do break to the downside over the next few days or weeks, a sustained loss of 42,000, it sets up the exciting prospect of a possible a return to 30,000. And I think myself and a lot of people probably be excited about that, because we can probably see a big bounce as long as the stock market is not collapsing, and as long as the crypto, I would say the crypto mood and the crypto news isn't too bad, then that would be probably the low risk spot to watch for a bounce. Okay, so let's get to Ethereum now. So Ethereum, it's been having a bit of a battle inside this ascending triangle pattern, and it's pretty much indicating in the short term we can either see 4,050 or 3,400, depending on which way the market's going to break outside of this ascending triangle pattern. So that's really what I'm watching in the short term. It's not that exciting, although the move down to buy the bottom of the wedge, that was definitely a nice scalp, and I guess selling the top is something to watch out for, but that can't last forever. And if we look at the normal price behavior of ascending price patterns, they normally break to the upside. So I would say the bullish case, and based on how Ethereum is moving away from 3.6 or holding 3.6, we can't discount that it's going to eventually break to the upside. If we have a look at a slightly long-term view here, again, I guess my general view would be a move towards 4,050 if we continue to hold above this trend line. But the 200-day moving average, if we were to lose the 3.6 level, that would be my first spot that I would look for a big move down, and that's slightly above 3,200. If we have a look at the weekly Ichimoku cloud, so something interesting is happening here in that this Ichimoku cloud, as I'm going to show you in a moment. So if we normally see during an uptrend, we see that the cloud is thin. That is indicating a low risk of a reversal. So the cloud is now widening extensively, and that is indicating that there is a risk of a reversal on the weekly time frame. So that's getting greater. So all the time this cloud's expanding, the risk of a reversal is getting higher on a weekly basis. So just bear that in mind. And just as an example, you can see the thinness of the cloud there, which was indicating a low risk of a breakdown underneath the cloud during this summer uptrend. So again, the risks are getting higher and higher as that thickens for an eventual reversal. So let's summarize Ethereum. So Ethereum, it has a weekly Ichimoku cloud issuing a potential reversal warning, a loss of the 26-day moving average and trendline support at 3,600 would or should trigger heavy selling. In the short term, the price action is defined by the ascending triangle pattern, so watch out for that. More short-term upside towards 4,050 is still possible, but for me, if we break under 3.6, I would say a quick drop towards a 200-day moving average seems about right, around 3.2. And at the moment, with the market so uncertain, I'm not really willing to say too much more at this moment about Ethereum.
And thank you. I hope you found my thoughts helpful. If you'd like more, please click the subscribe button for Pro BTC Trader and join me every week on Wednesdays for our live trading war room and daily email updates.